Your computer has many abilities that you do not. For example, there are computations that your computer can perform in just a fraction of a second, but it will take you hours and hours to find the correct answer. And coding is nothing but giving instructions to the computer and expecting the computer to give you a feedback. So we code in a language, and that language in this case is R. The console is the primary place where you communicate with your computer. Let's assume that I would like to know what 5 plus 7 is. Right from my console, I can just type 5 plus 7, and then I press enter, and the computer provides the answer, which is 12. Well, this is fairly easy. I could go with another arithmetic operation, like a multiplication. 58 times 79. Press enter, and then this is the answer. And you can do all sorts of arithmetic expressions. So let's go with the subtraction this time. Okay, this works. And of course, we can go with the division as well. 5 divided by 25, and that's 0.2. So as you can see, the console is not like a text file in which you can type all sorts of things. No, every line needs to contain a specific instruction, and when you press enter, the answer to that instruction is going to be displayed from within the console. So this is an interactive way to work with R. You provide an instruction and you get the answer. This way of working with R has many advantages. However, it has great limitations. So for example, if you have several instructions that you would like to write down first and then execute later, well, the console is not going to be very helpful, because remember, for every line of code that you write in the console, when you press enter to try to go to the next line, well, it doesn't just break a line, it just asks R to provide feedback on that instruction. So in a case like this, what you want to do is to create an R script. How to do that? You can go to File, New File, and then R script. Or even easier, you can go to the top left icon, click on it, and then click on R script. When you click on R script, a fourth pane shows up, and this area here is your R script. An R script is essentially a text file that contains all the instructions that you want to give R. And this is extremely convenient, because as a text file, you can save it, you can copy and paste, and do all sorts of things with it actually. So the first script that we're going to write in this file here is the 4 arithmetic operations that we performed earlier. So let's start with 7 plus 5. So I am going to copy and paste, and I'm going to press enter. So you see, when I press enter in the R script, it doesn't execute 5 plus 7, it doesn't try to compute it, it just breaks a line, and I can add more instructions or more code. So 58 times 79, enter. 478 minus 10, enter. 5 divided by 25. Okay, all right. And a typical R script will actually have many lines of code depending on what you're working on. Okay, you don't necessarily need to have many lines of code, but several. Okay, so now that my instructions have been written, the question is, how do I now execute my code? Well, let me clear my console right now. If you're on a Windows, you can press Ctrl L. If you're on a Mac, you can press Command L. And the reason why you should not be scared now of clearing up your console is simply because the code that we wrote previously, it is now in the script. And again, this is a text file that you can save. So if your code is saved, then everything else does not really matter, because you can always get the same results using the code that you've saved. So back to the topic. How do you execute code which is in a script? Well, if you're on a Windows computer, that's Control Enter, and if you're on a Mac computer, that's Command Enter. So Control Enter, and when you check your console, you can see that it just executed, and the answer is 12. Control Enter, Control Enter, Control Enter. Okay, and I can clear it out again because I have the code, so I can always get the results without any problem. Now, lastly, we can also do what is known as batch execution, which is I can select everything, Control Enter, and everything shows up. Or I can just select a portion like this and Control Enter, and then I get my results. In this tutorial, we will mainly be working with scripts. However, we will also sometimes type code directly in the console, especially if it is code that we do not necessarily want to keep. And we will have plenty examples of cases like that.